country you are joining from. Well, I will start by introducing myself. My name is Marta. I'm a consultant working with the UNICEF Supply Division, and I'm here with my colleague Virginie, who will be managing the chat. And we are having this session, which is going to be in English, and we are going to have another webinar in French this afternoon. So we'll start by sharing my presentation. So we are going to have some slides, and then we are going to demo some of the changes that we have in the platform. So starting with the agenda, so today the idea is to give you like an explanation and a demonstration of the changes that we have done to the SMT. So we hope that this will be covered in around maybe 20 minutes. And then there's going to be time for questions and answers at the end. However, if you have any questions during the presentation, if there is anything that is not clear or you want to kind of like make sure that you don't forget at the end, you can also write your questions in the chat, and we'll be reviewing all those questions in the chat at the end as well. Okay. Also, make sure that you mute yourself during the presentation, please. Thank you. So just to give you a bit of background, so a new version of the eSMT platform was released last week on 3rd September. So you should have all received an email with description of the changes kind of like detailed in that email. So what we are going to do today is to kind of like cover and explain a little bit more on that. So the enhancements that we developed were based on specific requests for users and to solve common challenges that we have seen with the data quality. Issues that many countries were having that were related with how the platform was working. So we had to make some changes to the platform to allow the users to solve those data quality issues. Some of the changes, as you are going to see, are very minor. So some like filtering, some improvements to how you navigate the pages and things like that. But other changes are kind of like major and really affect how you see your data and which data you are going to be viewing, and it's going to affect like your stock balances and everything. So that's why it's important that we have this webinar and we explain those changes so you will be able to review the data and address any issues you might have. As a note, the enhancements were applied to all environments, so to what we call production, this is like the real data platform, and also to the training platform. So if you are using this training platform because you are having any workshops or anything like that, you should know that the changes have been implemented in the training platform as well. And they apply to both the online and the offline apps. For the users that have the offline application, they need to connect to internet. And once they connect, they will see a notification informing them that there is a new version of the app. And they just need to accept, and then the app will update. So if you work in a country where there is some users that have the offline version, you need to inform them of this. You need to remind them. I mean, they should be connecting regularly anyway to synchronize the data, but you should also inform them that they need to connect to update the app. Okay, so with this said, we are going to start describing what are the changes that we have made to the platform. So we have broken them down into kind of like sections. So I start with the storage and equipment enhancements. So the first thing that we have done is to implement a new decommissioning functionality. So basically, there is a new decommission status that is available for equipment that is no longer in use. As you know, up to now, we only had like functional, non-functional. Now we also have the option to select decommissioned. Once you select this, the status is permanent, so you cannot put the item back, and the equipment cannot be like edited, deleted, or anything like that. Of course, the equipment that is decommissioned is excluded from the data entry screens and all the calculations, but you can still see it in the reports. And also there is a validation process that prevents decommissioning if the equipment still has some vaccines inside. So I'm going to demo this. I will show you how it looks like. Other changes that we have done to this storage and equipment screen is that the date of installation of the cold chain equipment is now mandatory. The date of flash mapping can be left blank. We have implemented a new comments field, and there is a real-time validation that ensures that the net capacity is lower than the gross capacity. So I'm going to go to eSMT and I'm going to show you how this looks like. So I'm going to log into the platform. And I'm going to use the store operator role. So as a store operator, if I go here, this is the tab we are talking about, storage and equipment. So I'm going to take one item, this for example, demo one, click on edit to show you. So we have this date of installation that now there is like a red asterisk. It means that this is now mandatory. We have the date of last mapping, which was not mandatory, but what was happening is that if you delete the date of last mapping, um, when saving, the app will not recognize this blank field and will pick like a wrong data. So now we have allowed that you can just delete this. So if we are talking about a refrigerator or like anything that is not like a walk-in cold room or something like that, you are not going to be doing temperature mapping. So you can just like delete this and leave it blank, and it's fine. We have this validation of the gross and the net capacity. So the gross capacity I have here is 108. So if I try to put here, for example, 120, it will not allow me to update, as you can see. And then we also have this comments field. And under status, we have functional, not functional, and now we have this new one, which is decommissioned. Okay, so I'm going to go back and will show you how to decommission an item. So first, I want you to look at this. We have here the total available capacity. So for the +5, we have this 4,399 liters available. Okay, so let's assume that I have this refrigerator that I want to decommission. Okay, so what I need to do is I come here to the edit button. I just pick it as decommission. And then let's say that I want to add here a comment, decommissioned on 10/09/2025, for example. Okay. And I'm going to update it. Now, what is happening is that the platform is not allowing me to decommission because it's telling me that I still have some products stored in the equipment. Okay, so if I have some vaccines that are recorded inside this fridge, I'm not able to decommission it. So what I have to do is that I leave this, and I'm going to do to my physical count and adjustments, and I'm going to try to locate which items do we have into this storage location. So what I can do is I go in the storage location here, and using the filtering button, I just look for my fridge, which was called demo one, and I can see that I have some MR vaccines. This is the batch number. This is the quantity that are still recorded inside this fridge. So I need to get this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to another location. So to move this to another location, what I have to do is like a two-step process. First, I'm going to put the item to 0 as an adjustment, and then I need to re-enter it through the arrivals and save it in the new storage location. Okay, so first I forgot here, select, this is an adjustment. So I'm going to click here, edit. I'm going to put the stock quantity is 0, accept adjustment. And as comments, I'm going to put like the commissioned equipment moved to another location, for example. Another location, okay? I click save. I wait for the data to save, and then I can go and finalize this transaction. Okay, so I'm going to check again. Demo 1, there's nothing else in this storage location. The storage location is now empty, okay? Before I forget, I should go to my arrivals and re-enter this item. So I enter it as others. Here, as a store name or reason, I can actually mention like change storage location. And I just add the line and re-enter the item. So it was MR. I need to enter the batch number, which was this one. Of course, you are going to do this with the items at hand. So it's not that you need to like remember the batch, like you have the batch in your hand, so you can just like re-enter the batch and re-enter the expiry date because you are moving things from one location to another. So this was the expiry date, and I'm going to enter the rest of the details. It was presentation 10. I just repeat everything. It was 20,000. Routine. So what I need to do is just here select the new storage location. So let's say that I have this walk-in courtroom here. I have enough available space. So I'm going to save it here. I can add again here on the comments that I have moved from another location. So this will help you later when you review your data or when you check your reports to not have the quantity duplicated. You don't think that you have received it twice. You know that you have entered it as others, and it's just that you have moved it from another location. It's not like a real arrival. You click create. And then once the line is saved, you can just finalize the transaction. So I'm trying to go a little bit fast. It's just to show you kind of like how the process works. Okay, so now I have done the first step, which is to move the MR vaccines from the item that I wanted to decommission to another location. So now I can go back to my storage and equipment, and I'm going to try again to decommission this fridge, which was called Demo 1. Again, I click Edit. I select Decommission, and I click Update. Again, I'm not able to do it. Why? So the message says like either products are still stored in this equipment. This is not the case because I have moved them out, or existing transactions are in draft. So this is the second thing that might be blocking you from decommissioning an item. If you have like an arrival that is pending in your drafts, in which you have selected this equipment as your storage space, you will not be able to decommission. So this is the second thing that you need to check. You need to check your drafts if you have any. Okay, so I'm going to go to arrivals. And I see here I have a draft. As you can see now, also the arrival states is color coded, so it's very easy to locate. Anything that is a draft is showing in yellow. So I'm going to check this one. And if I go to here, the storage location, I can see one of the items is in the storage location called Demo 1. Okay, so what I need to do is to click the Edit button. and select a separate storage location. So this demo one is no longer going to be used. I'm going to decommission this fridge, so I need to select a different storage location. So I'm selecting, for example, my working core room again. I update. And then I don't need to finalize the transaction. I can just like save again as draft and go back in case this transaction needs to be reviewed later for whatever reason. Okay, so my draft is still there. It's just that I have changed the storage location. Now it's important that you review all data as well. So here you can filter and look for older drafts. As you can see, I have drafts that are from 2022. So it's possible that someone has entered a transaction, never finalized it, and the draft is still there from years ago. And this might be blocking you now from decommissioning that equipment. So this is something that you should review. So if that is the case, you don't need to change the storage location. You can just assume that these transactions are not going to finalize. They were left as drafts by mistake, and you can just review them and delete them if necessary. Okay. So now that I have moved out the items that were inside the equipment and I have reviewed my drafts, I'm going to go back once more to the storage and equipment, and I'm going to try to decommission again this item. So I'm going to enter here decommission, the same comment, decommission on this date. I select decommission as a status and I click update. Now the message has changed. I don't have anything blocking the process anymore. It's just telling me that this action cannot be reversed. Are you sure that you want to mark it as decommissioned? If you are not sure, you can cancel it. If you are sure, you just click yes. And the item is now decommissioned. So here is no longer appearing on the list of items that you have in the store. And if you go here to the available storage capacity on the +5, you see this number has changed. So this the storage capacity of this fridge is no longer counted as the storage capacity in your store. However, if you go to your reports and you go here to your cold chain equipment inventory, you can still generate the report. And you can see here your item, demo 1. It is here showing as decommissioned. And in the comments, you see that it has been decommissioned on the 10th of September. Okay, so this is how the new decommissioning functionality works. Okay, so going back to the presentation, the next things that we have changed are the reports. We have made some improvements to the reports as well. I'm not going to demo this because they are minor changes. I think you will be able to see them later when you navigate your reports. In the supply adequacy reports, before we're having some diluents, and this was like creating some confusion, and it was really like not needed in this report. So now the product name dropdown only shows vaccines. On the immunization supply chain performance report, we have this indicator. Sorry, we have the indicator which is the stockout days. That now they only start counting from the day the item was first entered. So I will explain this. Before, if you had, let's imagine that I start using the eSMT on, I don't know, 15th September, and I register that I have my starting balance of BCG, okay, starting from 15th September. If I later go to the stockout days report, it will show me that in September, the first 15 days, BCG was stock out and was available starting from the day 15th. But this can be a bit misleading because in reality, it's not that I had a stock out, it's that I didn't start using the SMT, so the information was not there. So we have changed this now. The stock out days report starts counting from the day when you first enter the first data point. Before, you are going to just see like gray, meaning data is not available. And then from there, from that point, you will be able to see either available or stock out. Okay. Other minor changes that we have implemented now in the full stock availability reports, the vaccines are listed alphabetically. In the aggregated report, there was also some issues that if you had stores that had not entered any data, they will show as green, meaning there was no stock out. But in reality, this was misleading as well because it can give the impression to the higher levels when they select the aggregated report that there isn't any stockouts, when in reality is they did not enter any data. Okay, so we have changed that as well. If the stores have not entered data, they appear as gray. If they have entered data and the stock is available, it will be green. And if there is a stock out, it will be, I don't remember if it's orange or red. Okay. The vaccines are also listed alphabetically. As you can see, these are kind of like minor changes. In the wastage report, the product selection, before it was like a button that you had to click to select your vaccine. If you had many vaccines, this was a bit difficult to navigate, so we have changed it to a drop-down menu, and we have sorted the vaccines alphabetically. And in the cold chain equipment report, which is the one I have just shown you, you can see now there is a comment or a column for the comments, and there's also two new columns that indicate the supplier and the equipment model, which were not there before. And then also we have done some improvements to the formatting of the Excel exports. This, as I said, it will be time consuming to kind of like demo all of it. As you can see, there are kind of like minor changes. So you can take this slide if you want later on and just have a look at your reports and see the changes. Other changes that we have done are kind of like changes to the screens and data validations related to the admin users, the admin screens. So I have three main things. One is related to the program data. So if you are national administrators, you might know that when you enter your program data once per year, you need to enter one line per vaccine. And you were required to select the producer of the vaccine. So for example, if you select like BCG, it will give you a list of like BCG manufacturers, and you had to select one. Now, the problem was that there were some countries that were using multiple or vaccines from multiple manufacturers, and the users will make the mistake of registering the item in the program data twice, one per manufacturer. So this will create like a miscalculation. It will calculate the needs of BCG like double. And in reality, the producer field, this was just like informative. It was not really needed for any calculations. To prevent this kind of data entry errors and to make it like simpler, we have completely removed this. You are no longer required to enter the manufacturer of the vaccine. You just enter like BCG, the target population, the expected coverage, expected wastage, and so on. And you just save it. You don't need to enter this. For the store data, the screen where you enter the expected coverage, there's also some minor changes. So the vaccines are now alphabetically to make it like easier. And also there was some issue of some supply chain levels that were deactivated in the hierarchy and were still showing on this screen. So we have also corrected that. Now, if you deactivate some levels, let's say that the health facility level, you are not using the SMT, you don't want it to show, you have deactivated it, so it will no longer show on this screen. So as you see, these are minor changes. Other thing that we have changed is in the master data. If you remember before, if you create a country-specific item, like a country-specific vaccine, if that vaccine had diluent, you were required to enter the diluent manually as well, and kind of like assign a name to the diluent. This was creating some issues because of the naming format. Sometimes the item will duplicate and was creating some data quality problems as well. So we have now made the diluent name automated. Okay, so I'm going to show you as well how that looks like. So I'm going to change from store operator to country admin. Okay. As you can see here, this is the program data. This is where I was saying that you just enter the vaccine. There is no need to enter the manufacturer of the vaccine. And I'm going to go here to the master data. So just as a reminder, as you know, here on top we have the list of global vaccines. Okay, so as an administrator in a country, you are not able to edit this, you are just able to view them. Now, if there is an item that is not in the list, if the item is WHO pre-qualified vaccine that we have missed, that maybe we have not updated the list, instead of manually adding it, please get in touch with us and let us know so we update the global list, because this item is relevant for other countries as well. Okay, so the only case in which you need to manually enter some country-specific vaccines is if you are using some item that is not pre-qualified. Maybe you are doing some kind of like I don't know, trial in your country or whatever the reason, or you are procuring something separately, so you want to enter it manually. So in this case, you can just click the add button, and you see here there is an option. This is new, which is called diluent required. Okay, whether yes or no. So what you will have to do is just you enter the name of the product that you are going to add. Let's say this is going to be a test. So let's see, we call it IPV test. Okay, we just select some random, let's say Sanofi Pasteur. Say this. Okay, so if I select that the formulation is liquid, this diluent required button gets grayed out, so I cannot add any diluent. If I select any other formulation, for example, this one, then I'm able to select whether I need, whether I want to create a diluent as well or not. If I select yes, automatically the name of the diluent will be created. So it's always going to be DIL slash and then the name of your vaccine here, what you have selected as designation in English. Okay, so just to let you know that this is kind of now the standard naming for the diluents when you create a new vaccine. You don't need to manually enter it. You just need to select here yes or no, and it will be created automatically. Okay, so going back to the next thing, this is it for the admin. Then for the store break, yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
We already 5 minutes out of the demo, and then we have the Q&A. So just for you to know.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so for the store operator screens, again, I'm not going to demo this to kind of like not waste any time, but you are going to see some changes. So in the stock overview, now you are able to see storage location and activity type, and you will be able to see negative values. This is one of the major changes if present in the background due to data quality issues. This I'm going to demo it later. Okay. In the arrivals, we have now this color coding. So depending on the status of your transaction, you can see different colors. You have seen this. In the issuing, there is some new filters. When you issue new stock, there is a new delete button. So before, when you create an issue, you enter some data and then you have the options to either finalize or save as a draft and go back. But to prevent that there is kind of like a lot of drafts that get saved and then never used, we now have as well a delete button. So if you enter the data, then you realize that you don't need this, you can directly delete it from the screen when you enter it. You don't need to save it as a draft, go back, and then delete it from the main screen. Okay. What else? This one is quite important when creating a requisition, like when issuing out. Before, you will see the list of all the stores. And if you're in a country where there are many stores, it would be difficult to find the store that you want to issue out to. So how it works now is that by default, you are only going to view the stores that are below you in the hierarchy. So if you are, let's say, in the region, you are only going to see the districts that are below you in the region. If you want to, let's say, like return something to the national store, or if you want to send something, lend some supplies to another region, there is a checkbox that you can tick to view all stores, and then you can go and select that additional store. So this is just for easy navigation. Physical count and adjustments, all columns are filterable. I have shown you this before, and you can see the activity type as well in the physical count. And then in the temperature login screen, there is some improvements to the navigation as well. Okay. Other enhancements, we are almost finished. This is the email notifications. Now the users that have admin roles can select the language in which they and others receive email notifications. Up to now, by default, all the email notifications were in English. Okay. So now what happens is that if you have one, or if you have more than one role, you have here this button called Change Settings, in which you can switch from country admin to store operator or back. Okay, so here there's also this new tab where you can select your preferred communication language, and you have English, French, Portuguese, and Arabic. So here you can select your language. And if you are an admin, you can also change the language for others. So the store operators, if the users that only have a store operator role, will not be able to do it by themselves. So you will need to help them. So for example, there's here this store operator. I can just click edit, and I can change the communication language for them. The same when you create a new user. You just enter the details and you enter the preferred communication language. Note that this is only referring to the automatic email notifications from the app. Okay, so when there is like a change in your user profile or things like that, that you get like an automatic email. So this is what we are referring to here in the preferred communication language. And then finally, the last thing, which is probably like the major thing or the most important, is this correction of negative stock balance. So this is an issue that has created a lot of problems for a lot of you. So that you were having some negative stock balances in some of the reports. Okay, so I'm going to show you why this was happening and how to, like, which changes we have implemented in the platform and how to fix your data. So I will start by switching back to store operator. I select here my store. Okay. So I'm going to show you here in the reports. One of the reports that was having issues was this like stock management summary. So I'm just going to show you an example. If I select here vaccines, this is like vaccine total, let's say, and I'm going to generate a report, let's say from the 1st of January, so reports for the whole year. And I'm going to use TD as an example here. So I have TD here, okay? And I can see if I go to closing balance, I can see that the closing balance for TD is 0, okay? There was some opening stock at the beginning of the year, then there was some adjustments, whatever. Like at the end, the closing balance is 0. So this is fine. However, if I generate this report split by activity type, so I select routine and SIA, I generate it again. I'm going to use the same example. I'm going to select TD again. So the first line is routine, the second line is supplementary. I already see that for the opening stock, I have some minus here. And in the closing balance, also I have some minus here. So of course, we know that this is a data quality issue. We cannot have as an opening balance or closing balance like minus. So what is happening here is that at some point, when the users were registering the arrivals, you were selecting the activity type, so routine or SIA. And then when issuing out, you were able to select again. Okay. So what happened is that this created some discrepancies that the users would enter as an arrival one quantity as a select routine, and then issue out as a supplementary more than what they had initially as supplementary. I will show you here again in the stock overview. So I have TD, my total stock balance is 0, and I have this batch, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I have SIA and I have routine. So the problem I have here is that for routine, quantity received was 3,000, quantity issued as routine was 2,000. So I have 1,000 that were never used. Okay, also someone entered this by mistake in the storeroom. And then the same batch, I have the supplementary. In a supplementary was 3,000, but out a supplementary, I registered 4,000. So I have a stock balance of minus 1,000. And also the storage location was fridge 3. So this kind of discrepancies were created when an item was logged as an arrival with one activity type and issue out with another activity type, or if it was registered in one storage location on arrival and then issue out on another storage location when issuing. Okay, so the platform is not able to kind of like reconciliate this information. So one of the things that we have done is to block this from happening in the future. So when you enter something as arrival as routine, or you enter something as arrival in, let's say, like fridge 3, you can only issue it out as routine and issue it out from fridge 3. If you want to change the activity type or you want to change the storage location, you need to follow the same process that we did for the decommissioning. You go to physical count and adjustment, you put your item to 0 or to like the quantity that you want, and the quantity that you want to change activity type or change storage location, you re-enter it through the arrivals as others. Okay, and then your data will be kind of like reconciliated, and then you can issue out as you want. So as I said, like in the future, this is blocked, so you will not see negative balances again. However, this is coming from like all data. If I look at another example here, BCG, you can see like my current stock balance is like 11,000. But if I go here to my stock overview, I see there is some items that are expired since 2023. So this tells me that this is like old data, and the batch stock balance we have for this batch is the same, is duplicated. We have SIA minus 100, routine 100. Then we have this other batch, which is also duplicated, routine minus 890, SIA 890. So this is the kind of data that before it was in the background because the total stock balance was 0. It was not showing in the stock overview. The same for this one, because the total stock balance was 0, it was not showing on the stock overview. So the users like you were not able to fix your data. So you will see that you have data that is mismatched, data that is giving you like negative balances in the report, but you were not able to fix it because these kind of like background issues were not showing on the stock overview. So this is what we have changed. Any negative or any mismatch that we have in the background is not showing in your stock overview. So you will be able to just like review your data and correct this. So how are you going to correct it? Through the adjustments. So I'm going to use, for example, this one, 6789. So I go to physical count and adjustments. I select adjustments, and it was this one. Okay, so this item is already expired, and also the total quantity is 0. So I just need to put these two lines to 0. So I'm going to click here, stock quantity 0, accept adjustment, and then here I can just put like a data, data cleaning correction of negative values. For example, you can enter whatever you want as a comment. Okay, so let me just copy paste this. Okay, so this is one line, which is the minus 100, and then there's the other line, which is the 100, which I'm going to repeat the same. I put this to 0. I enter the comment and I click save. Once the data is, the line is saved, I can just like finalize. And now I go back to my stock overview, and that line is completely gone. So now I'm supposed to do the same one with this other one, which is also kind of like all data that is there. So what you will have to do now is to go to your stock overview, review what is showing there. Probably you will have to do some inventory count and then like get rid of all these like all data errors through the adjustments, and that will fix your stock overview, and that will fix your reports as well. Okay, so this is it for the demo, for what I wanted to show you today. So I'm going to stop now here, and we can start with the questions that I imagine you might have some, if not many. I think there's someone with the hand up, Amadou.
Yeah.
Good morning, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. My question is about the stores below the health facility, which are vaccination sessions. For my country, the Gambia, we have some routine sessions, and we have some sessions that where sometimes the supply for those periodic intensification of routine immunization, the supplies are actually coming from the routine. So, but my question first is about is it possible to provide a CSV or an Excel file that can be used to upload the stores that are under the health facility, because there are many. So it will be difficult to put these stores one after the other under the health facility. So maybe if there is a way that you can facilitate a one-time entry of these stores that are under the health facility would be helpful. Number two is if, for example, we are already conducting the big catch-up, which has vaccines that we have received. So we have these vaccines are part of the routine. So sometimes we want to at the end of the month, you need to prepare your BCU report, and you need to include the vaccines that were consumed through the BCU. So, for example, how would you what would you advise on that? How do you separate the vaccines from that were used through the routine versus the ones that were used within a particular period for the big catch over?
Okay, thank you so much, Amadou. So let me go back to the app. So for the first question, if I understand correctly, you just want to add some stores that are below. How many levels do you have? So your health facility is level what? Level 3, 4?
Level 3.
Level 3. Okay, so that is not a problem. So you can have here your national, then I don't know if you have like region or district, and your health facility will be at level 3. So you can enter still like 2 more levels below. So the only thing that you have to do is to export your hierarchy. This will give you like an Excel with what you currently have. Let me show you. And then in the hierarchy, in this Excel, here under the locations, you just need to enter the new facilities and assign them level 4, I guess it will be. Assign them the correct parent store, and then re-upload here through the import button. So it's quite straightforward. It's the same as when you upload the hierarchy for the first time. You can edit the hierarchy in this way as well in bulk. Then the second question for the big catch-up, we don't have a way of kind of like specifying big catch-up. The only thing that you can do is when you issue out. Let me see. So if you are a store operator and you are issuing out, let's say that this is acquisition, you select here your store. Here it is going to be, let's say that it's an item that is done as routine, for example. Let's say this one. So it's coded as routine, but what you can do here is in the comments, you just write BCU, for example. So if you save it like this, then when you go to the reports, you will be able to filter in the comments, just type BCU, and it will give you the lines that are being used for the big catch-up. So this is kind of like the workaround that that you can use to kind of like code those ones.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Any other questions? I don't know if there was anything in the chat or anyone has any other questions.
There's nothing in the chat.
Okay. Emmanuel?
Yes, hi. Thank you. If we have some time, I would appreciate if you can do a demo of a case where you want to reassign part of your stock to another activity. You show us for the location, but if we have time, I would appreciate if you can do that. Over. But take
Okay.
other question before. It's not like urgent at all.
Okay.
Over.
Okay. So is there any other questions before this? No? Okay. So then I think we can go. Sorry. Yeah. Kofi?
Good morning.
Good
For
morning.
this example you give, how to make a difference between a product we've used to routine and BCU if you see that to register what we do previously. Because if you make that, it's in comment. But when we are go to a report, we don't have a difference between the vaccine from routine and the catch-up. How to make it? Thanks.
Yeah, so at the moment, the only thing that we like for the SIA and routine, yes, but for the big catch-up, we don't have a separate option in the app kind of like tag the item as like a third option. There is no routine, SIA, or big catch-up. So big catch-up is in the app, in the eSMT, is considered as part of either SIA or as part of routine. So the only thing that we can do, as I was saying, is to add the comment, and then in the arrivals or the issuing report, you can filter the comments. And based on that, you will need to kind of like, let's say, like edit
Okay.
a bit your Excel reports. But in the app itself, it's not going to separate it, unfortunately.
Okay, but from our side in Madagascar, we register these vaccines the same in the routine and in the catch up as CS, but comment the catch up to make a difference in the follow up of the stock available and all.
Yeah, this is correct. This is correct. But as like Amadou was saying, for example, that some of the big catch-up are part of routine. You are registering as part of SIA, so it's for the country to kind of like decide how to manage. But we don't have like a separate. So in the stock management summary report, for example, you will not be able to see it separate. You will need to, let's say, like separate it yourself in the Excel based on the other reports, like the arrivals and the issue, in which you can filter by the comments. So we know it's not ideal. It requires a lot of like extra kind of like data cleaning, but it's the workaround that we have as of today. Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. So if not, then we can do, we can show, for example, let's say like this, I don't know, BOPV here. We have this batch number. We have 120,000 stored in freezer 1 and are used for routine, or were registered as routine on arrivals. So what we can do is we go to physical count and adjustments, and we go to, what was it, 555, this one, BOPV, this batch number in freezer 1. So let's say that we want to use 20,000 of this for SIA, for example. So you just click edit. Oh, sorry, I forgot this. You need to select first that you're doing an adjustment. So you click here the edit button. Okay, so the quantity remaining for routine is no longer going to be 120,000, it's going to be 100,000. Okay, so you are going to have like a discrepancy or minus 20,000. So just click accept adjustment, and you can say like a change in activity type moved to SIA, for example. And you just click save. And then you finalize this. And then you go to the arrivals. You log new arrival, receipt type. Oh, I didn't, sorry, I didn't take note of the batch number. Let me see. It was 555,68914. It's 30 September 2029. And not 20. Okay, this is freezer 1. Okay, so you go to the arrivals, you log new arrival, you select others. Here you can enter change activity type. And you add the line. Vaccine, it was BOPV. The batch number, it was 555,68914. 8914. The expiry date was 2029, 30th of September. So I enter all the other details. The same as before, and we are moving 20,000. And this is now SIA. Okay. The storage location, I can select the same one, for example, doesn't matter. And then in the comments, I put change in activity type from routine to SIA. And then once the line is saved, I just click finalize. This is that I don't have enough space anyway for the purpose of the demo. It's okay. So if I go back to my stock overview, now I should be able to see. So I have the same batch is now duplicated. Everything is the same, except now I have 20,000 SIA and 100,000 routine. So now I'm free to like issue out as SIA anything like from this 20,000, and I can issue out as routine this 100,000.
Can you show us how to issue and to select which one we can use, please?
Issuing stock. So let's say it's a normal requisition. I select here my region, align to issue, vaccine, ISP OPV, batch number. So here I get this like routine for SIA. So if I select routine,
okay,
I get 100,000. If I select SIA, I get 20,000.
This is very good. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Sorry, one more thing maybe we could,
yeah,
because here's the same. Another thing, the storage location here, the storage location is in the same, right? But if you have different storage location, you also will need to select the proper storage location because you may have less quantity.
That's
so
true.
This is also something that we have implemented.
Yeah, that's true.
To avoid this negative balance.
That's true. So if you change the storage location, but you have the same batch number, so here you will have also the option to select you are issuing out from which storage location. Yeah. Thank you, Virginie. Okay, so I think we have reached the end. I don't know if there's any final questions or comments. If not, sorry, Amadou.
Yes, thank you. I just want to ask, is because we are now supposed to train our health workers on how to use these new features. I want to ask, is there any facilitation materials that we can use? Over.
For the new things in particular?
Yes, the new features.
We have one guide on how to correct the negative balances that it was shared as an attachment when we send the communication. We can resend it if needed. For the other features, since it's kind of like a minor, we have not released kind of like separate guides, but the user guide itself, the user guide that you can access here if you go to documentation, this user guide, all of this has been updated. So if you want to, if you want to, I don't know, demonstrate here like the master data will not be relevant, but how to maybe register storage space or edit the storage space, like this thing of the commissioning functionality, these kind of things, like is already here as well. So all the new features are in the user guide.
Thank you very much. I was asking about that. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, Virginie, do you have anything else? I see that you are
No,
typing. No?
No, yeah, I just wanted to type to say we will share the video and we will reshare the troubleshooting guidance for the negative
Sure.
balance.
Sure. Yeah. So this session has been recorded, so we'll share it and the guides as well, and you can use the user guide. Otherwise, if you have any additional questions or if you need support later on, just feel free to get in touch with us. It's like our regular email, the smt@unicef.org, and we are available to help you. So thank you all for your time, and yeah, we'll be in touch.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.